So I'm Lauren. Thank you guys for being here. So exciting to see you guys. I've spent the past several years stumbling and experimenting and trying for zero at home and out in my community. I started blogging about my journey on Instagram at Mommy Turns Green, and I've been sharing my shifted mindset through my volunteer work at ECI and the Southampton Town Sustainability Committee, or Advisory Committee. In early 2020, we created the Zero Waste Initiative, and we've set out to collect food waste at the local school district in Hampton Bays. They have 3 schools, and we were partnering with them right before the pandemic hit, and a local business, 2 local businesses, and our farmers market. We were actually going to set up a composting stand and a wash station for any tasting that was being done at the farmers market. And then we've created the community composting program. So that's all falls under the initiative. And you'll hear more about that next. So let's talk zero waste. What is zero waste? Simply put, it's a growing movement to reduce what you consume and throw away. It's getting as close to zero as you can and following the 5 principles of zero waste in order. Refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot, or compost. So reuse. What's something that you can refuse when you're out in town, let's say? You guys have any idea of things that people give you that give to you that maybe you don't want, or you could see kind of create something that you would end up throwing away?
Like in a cup, maybe?
Yeah.
What do you get in a cup in the restaurant?
Wine.
Me too. I get that.
That's how I got the idea.
Oh, nice. So like if you go to get ice cream, sometimes they give you a little spoon to taste, right? Or you go get a coffee and they serve it with a napkin that you don't really need. Or you go to the bank and they give you a free pen that you definitely don't, no one needs another new pen, right? So those kinds of things
That you don't want.
that you don't need, right? They're cool to have for free, right? You're like, oh wow, but then really, ultimately, in the end, you don't really need them, right? You have all that stuff at home, and it's only single use, right? You're only going to use it one time, and then you're going to throw it in the garbage. So learning how to refuse those kind of free things will just eliminate the waste that you end up with when you get home. You're going to end up throwing it away. They're usually very cheaply made and made out of plastic also. So by refusing them, you're just saving resources and you're saving time, and you're saying, no, I don't need this. So the demand for them decreases. So reducing. Have you guys ever moved or packed up your room and seen everything that you own all out in front of you? Maybe you found things that you've never used with the price tag still on, or you find you have multiple things of the same item, multiple items. So reducing is just that, reducing, decluttering your home. The big thing is tidying up, or and donating to thrift stores. You know, there's so much out there in the world already that you really don't need new things. You easily find them new or hardly used, gently used. Facebook Marketplace is a great place to start. I've gotten my oven and fridge and most of my furniture from Marketplace brand new, especially out here in the Hamptons. Everyone's switching over their furniture all the time. So that would lighten your load and make precious resources available to those looking to buy secondhand. Most likely you'll realize that what you already own and that you have everything that you need. As I said, you can now take good inventory of what you own and be able to resist buying things. So when you have that, if your house is organized and tidy, you don't have those impulse buying, like especially Target is a big one where you're like, oh, that's so beautiful, but really you don't need it. Because if you think of shopping as voting, you know, the more demand there is, the more they're going to supply. So collectively, you might think at an individual level you're not really making too much, but really it says a lot. Shopping, to reduce your shopping waste at the grocery store, obviously using cloth bags, you reduce the need for the plastic. And anything that you can buy in bulk at the bulk bins. I know Wild by Nature has the best bulk bins in town. They're only half full at the moment because of COVID, but that's definitely one place to get all your grains and granola and trail mixes and all those oats and grains and things. Let's see. So another exciting thing to do to reduce your waste is really just meal planning, so you know exactly what you need at the grocery store and you buy what you're actually going to use and cook. Keeping your fridge, like I said, with the home fridge and freezer tidy and organized, so you know exactly what you have, so you don't buy two of something. Understanding the labels, the sell-by dates, those sell-by dates are put on by the manufacturer. So something that looks expired is perfectly fresh to eat and usually gets thrown out at the supermarkets. Turning wilting or safe but aging produce into broths, sauces, casseroles, smoothies. When the peach is getting a little too soft, you can throw that in the blender. It's still perfectly fine. Not being scared that and throwing it away, but actually using it, repurposing it. A big waste is dinner times when you overcook and you make too much. Usually it ends up getting thrown away. The great thing is for leftovers, to repurpose those leftovers or just save them for lunch in the morning, or even freezing. There's so many great things that freeze: cheese, baked goods, vegetables, fruits, nuts, meat, butter, all those things freeze. So using your freezer definitely helps you preserve but prevent spoilage. I love to keep all my veggie scraps, so my kids love broccoli, and just to save the stems, they're great for juicing, but I also collect them in the freezer and make a veggie stock. And buying imperfect produce is also a wonderful way, like carrot tops, for instance. You use the carrot, you can cut off the little top green part, and that also works great for broths, or you can make pesto with it. I've been making anything in green in the garden pesto, just throw it in with some sunflower seeds. Composting obviously is a way to reduce waste. And just be inventive and creative and resourceful, saying, like, what can you do with it before you toss it or before you compost it, right? Composting should be the last result. Reusing, so this is where this part of things come in to play. To avoid shopping waste, reusable totes, obviously for the grocery store, but really anywhere you go. If you go to the toy store, you don't need their paper bag, right? You could just slip the gift or toy item in here. Clothing, these come in obviously various sizes. You can just use them for everything. There's no need to take a plastic bag or a paper bag with you from the store. Like I said, the cloth bags obviously going to eliminate the plastic produce bags. You can bring your empty jars to the customer service desk and have them tared, and then go and fill up your rice or your granola, trail mixes, nuts. They have various things for kids, dried fruit, and then you have this to take with you when you go on a tour at a garden, right? So just thinking of those kinds of things. What else? This is a cutlery set. Obviously, it's great. It's bamboo. It's easily washable. You can throw it in the compost when you're done. But you can make these little ones at home. I take my cloth napkin because we've eliminated any paper goods at our home. And you can just wrap up your cutlery, and throw it in your purse. And if you go for ice cream and you want a spoon, there you go. The toothbrush, or let's just go here. This is a great for kids' lunches. This is what we use in our lunch boxes. They come in different sizes also. This is great to bring to the restaurant if you have leftovers. You just scrape your own leftovers right in here. But again, chips are not going to crumble. Stasher bags are also a cool alternative to these stainless steels. We use them at the beat, everything. And then we have the beeswax paper, obviously instead of plastic wrap, or cloth. There's cloth ones too that actually come over the can. I mean, usually you have like a Tupperware of some sort, but this is another alternative way if you just want to cover something, then instead of using saran wrap or putting in a Ziploc bag, totally adheres. They're fun to make also. They're really simple and easy to make if you have some extra cloth and beeswax at your disposal. You have the metal straws, obvious need for that or not. The bamboo toothbrush. The toothbrushes that we use are all made of plastic. The bristles are made of plastic. This is 100% bamboo toothbrush. The bristles are not recyclable or compostable at this time, but you can just pull them out and actually reuse this. You could actually, before you throw them out completely, I clean with these. I wash them thoroughly, obviously after they, my kids have smashed down the bristles, or my husband destroys his toothbrushes, but they're perfect for cleaning grout. I've actually seen people use them as little stands for their gardens to tell what the vegetable is when they're doing the seeding and stuff. So that's a creative way to say, wait, do I need to toss this right out into the garbage? Does it need to end up in the landfill? But the toothbrushes that we use, they never biodegrade. They're just in the landfill forever. And it comes in the great packaging, or you can just recycle or compost that. Water bottle, I never leave home without it. We don't even use glasses in our house anymore. We just end up using our water bottles all the time. And to-go coffee mugs, totally, there's the linear economy, of manufacturing a paper cup for a single-use latte that you just throw in the garbage, plus the plastic lid is just contributing to so much waste. So these keep cups are really, really cool and easy to clean. This comes off and you're able to wash it thoroughly. The last two, we have recycle, which really should be your last resort. Again, being, resourceful and creative with what you have. And since you're eliminating, you're refusing, you're reducing, hopefully what you're left with at home is minimal. Getting to know the town. I don't know if you guys are from the area, but knowing your recycling centers, knowing your private carting companies, do they recycle? Do they sort? A lot of them don't. They made, I think it's 9 to 10% actually gets recycled. So the best solution is to self-haul, which I know not everyone wants to do, and I know with little kids it's hard to find the time, but recycling there, kind of guarantees that what you're sorting and cleaning and preparing for recycling actually does get recycled. But for sure, do your research. That's one thing that we're gonna start looking into more and more and publishing on our site, is to provide that information. And last is the compost system, which you will learn more about with Tony. So we really hope to develop more of an online presence now with the pandemic and Zoom being so available to everyone now, is to really provide this educational experience. So if you have questions, to come to us, a trusted resource, and especially localized information. So if you have questions, feel free to email us. If you need to know something about recycling, or you have an idea or an option like this, to where to pick these up. A lot of this stuff you can't find locally, and through the farmers market and hopefully online, we'll be able to supply this to the community. So yeah.
Can I ask
If you have any questions?
I've never seen a beeswax cloth, and that's
Yeah.
so cool.
It is. I've actually seen them at Fowler's in Southampton.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just cloth with melted beeswax.
And so you can like rinse it clean.
And you can rinse it clean. It doesn't last forever, but it can go right in the compost, so it's waste free.
Okay.
But yeah, you want to do more cool water because the hot water could
Right.
start,
Yeah.
taking the beeswax off. But yeah, and you just kind of warm them up in your hands, and then they just kind of just.
That's a great idea. Because
Push on.
everyone hates cling wrap anyway, but you just
Right.
feel so bad using it because it's so temporary and
Yeah.
pointless, really. So, but that's such a great alternative. I've never even seen that.
Yes. And I think Plan B, and if you guys go to Provisions at all, and she's a local personal care products through her beehive. She has various beehives on her property, and she makes these and various balms and salves. So you can usually find them. If not, this company right here, packagefreeshop.com, and she has her website on the back, but she's local. Lauren Singer, she kind of is an inspiration in the zero waste community. She has a package-free shop in Williamsburg and Chelsea and online, and you can find all these products and much more on her site. And she ships everything package-free. You won't see plastic anywhere in her. And all the goods actually come package-free too from the vendors. So yeah.
We started meal planning during Corona because of the shortages at the grocery store. So
Right.
writing a calendar down, and then also we realized how much stuff was in the back of the freezer, and we started every time you buy something, like writing it down on a list on the fridge and on the freezer, so you just know what's in there. Because I can't plan how many times you do that,
You're gonna.
and I can't see it, so it doesn't exist in my mind. So so that's really been helpful to reduce our waste.
Overbuying,
Because
right?
then you just look and you're like, oh, I already have it, and
Right.
so that's been really helpful, but it also made us realize how bad we were
Right.
about it.
Right.
And I made radish green basil pesto
Nice.
for the first time.
Yeah.
I've never even thought to do anything
Right.
other than that, but it's been exciting to try to repurpose stuff. So.
Yeah, and it's very empowering to
Yeah.
and then make it yourself, and it's like, wait, that's really good, you know?
Yeah. We do love our trips to the recycling center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, once they stopped taking glass, it was so horrifying, that idea, because it's so easy. It's so easy to recycle. It becomes glass again.
Right.
So the fact that they stopped taking
Indefinitely.
we started driving it to the recycling center, and these guys love it. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dirt. Nothing.
oh, we get the compost there too. So yeah, dirt and recycling. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can I take a picture of this?
Yes, for sure.